So I had some questions about, well, what are film notes? Are they basically just a synopsis of the movie? And no, they're not a synopsis. What we want from the film notes is we want to highlight in our notes the elements of film form that we notice. So what does that mean? Basically, the pieces of a movie that the director has control over. And for our purposes, we're going to assume that everything we see within the frame and everything we hear was a conscious choice by the director. So what are those elements? I mean, film is visual, right? So any, the color of the film, the color of the scenery, the color, we could call that the color palette of the movie. The sound. So sound can be sound effects. It can be the volume of dialogue, the volume of sound effects, a soundtrack or the musical score. The cast, like who was cast for the part, the makeup and costumes, the setting. I mean, you could just go on and on about the elements within a movie that a director chose. So most people, when they watch a movie, they're just kind of accepting it all. So we're trying to watch critically. So if you notice it, it's worth pausing, noting the time, and saying like, oh, the color in this scene was pretty interesting, and maybe even give a interpretation of how that helps reinforce the meaning. Or maybe it's a part where you feel the director failed. Maybe it's like, oh, this color palette doesn't match the mood of the character's dialogue, or was it intentional? So it just has to be like a sentence long, like you're noting it. Then on Blackboard, where you submit your notes, you'll see a little kind of like a prompt. I'm giving you a journal entry prompt. So at the end of your notes, you can I want you to write a paragraph. So spend about 10 minutes reflecting and writing on this prompt. And I'm not grading on if you answer the prompt correctly. That prompt is really just to get the ball rolling, to get your ideas flowing. Once you have your notes either handwritten or typed and your little reflection piece at the end of your notes, you can either take a picture with your phone of your notes if they're handwritten, or just upload the Word document or PDF to Blackboard. Okay, so that was step one, the film notes. We covered that. Step two is discussion posts. Before you do the discussion post, obviously there's some preparation. You got to watch the movie. Also, within the week folder, if you scroll through, I'm adding some additional supplements. So go through those, read them, or watch them if they're videos. And then at the very bottom, you'll see a discussion post link with some prompts. If you click the link, it'll take you to the discussion. It'll take you inside the discussion post where you can create a thread and just use, title it something so people kind of know what you're talking about, and write at least 2 paragraphs, but no more than 4. So once you have that post done, look through some of the other students' posts and pick one to reply to, or you can pick multiple, but minimum you have to reply to one. So that's how these assignments are laid out. It's the first week. If I see any ways that your work can be improved, I'll let you know, but we'll just kind of give it a shot for this week.